Hello, this is Rod Ovett with another Take 5, something that we bring to you every Monday through Saturday on our Facebook page for Rod Ovett and for Logos Institute of Biblical Studies. Just a time when we get together and share the Word, tear it apart a little bit, look at it, chew it over, digest it, and go on about our day. Glad you're here. Wanted to read a proverb today, a couple verses. I'm sure you've heard it before. It's quoted quite often, and I thought we'd just look at it for our own growth and just introspection today. It's found in Proverbs 30, verses 7 through 9. 2 things I ask of you, O Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise I may have too much and disown you and say, Who is the Lord? Or I may become poor and steal and so dishonor the name of my God. Now we've heard that taken out of context often, I'm sure, and we talk about it, and there's some common sense applications right off the bat, and it's good advice. But I'd like to slow down a little bit and just look at it here for the next few minutes and see what we can take home. The first thing that this author asks for is that God would keep him from lying words, and in the Hebrew, the word for vanity. And by definition, this is that which is confused, worthless, untrue, which comes to us from without, or a hollowness, untruthfulness of disposition which comes from within. Now there's distinctions being made here, and we need to catch that. An example of the first one, that which is confused or worthless, untrue, and which comes from without, is found in Job 31:5. If I have walked with falsehood, or my foot has hurried after deceit, let God weigh me in honest scales, and he will know that I am blameless. David has a verse similar to that. Search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in life everlasting. He's talking about a transparency before God. He's saying, I need, Father, for you to help me to battle those things that are without, those things that bombard me every day. And we live in this world, and we're bombarded, we're hit back and forth. Paul talks about it in both Romans and Galatians. In Galatians 1:4, he says that Jesus gave himself for our sins to rescue us from the present evil age. And the Greek words he uses there are poneros aion. Poneros meaning evil, intrinsic evil, and aion being that atmosphere in which we live, that cluttered mind-field of debris that is all around us. I read a while back about an area that is just like 25 miles square out in the ocean of just debris sitting there. I mean, it's like an island of just debris all cluttered together. And could you imagine trying to negotiate through that? Or some of these meteor showers. Or they talk about all the clutter that's up in space from decades of space launches and satellites and such, just waiting to fall and breaking apart. And in our lives, presented to us daily, is an entire atmosphere of debris and distraction and silliness and corruptness and temptation that is thrown at us relentlessly. A constant bombardment. And so the author here is saying, God, keep me from that. Please hold that back. Put a hedge about me. Keep some of it at bay. I can't take it all. It becomes too much. And so first off, he talks about that which is from without. But with a subtle little twist, he starts talking about something a little different. He says, keep the falsehood and lies far from me. The second definition speaks to a hollowness, an untruthfulness, a disposition that we own, that we have. And we read about that in Psalm 26:4, where he says, I do not sit with the deceitful, nor do I associate with hypocrites. Both the word hypocrite and deceitful speak to an intent, speak to something that begins in our thinking, in our mind. And in both cases, I believe these thoughts come from within and without. There are those outside influences that plague us and pursue our thought life and our actions all the time. We see it in the media. It's everywhere about us. It's in the music. It's in the programs we watch. this tearing down, this subtle just eroding of our ethos. But then there are those internal thoughts stored within. They're set to tempt, to arouse, to incite, or depress. All of these fall within the camp of falsehoods. And the first thing we need to do to defend ourselves from such deceit is to discern between a truth and a lie. The evil one is a great marketer, and he's an excellent gift wrapper. He can set a gift in front of you that just looks so appealing, so luscious, so good. He can make anything look alluring and plausible. I think he could take a pile of manure and serve it up, disguised as the most succulent of meals. And it's most certainly that thought that was behind the Hebrew word shov that he's alluding to here when he talks about the misleading power that is within us. Keep me from shov. It's that idolatrous thought or action. And he uses kazab, and he's referring to a lie or a deception or falsehood. There's a subtleness implied in the language here. These would be false words and statements set up as truth, or at least poised within the realm of gray, and we seem to live in a gray day, don't we? The end goal is to set a trap or snare by which we will be rendered weak and harmed along with others within our proximity. We're going to talk more about this tomorrow. What can we do about these thoughts? What can we do? And then I want to look at the second part of this verse. So you join us then for another Take 5. Till then, have a blessed day.